Hey, friends and neighbors, we're going to be talking about something personal today, the folly of focusing on myself. Stay tuned.
Welcome to A Word for Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Each Wednesday you will find Boggs Family Ministries is here with our host, Davy Boggs. Having you along with us is a wonderful addition. Now, let's enjoy together A Word for Wednesday.
Thank you, Brother Devin, and thank you for joining us today on A Word for Wednesday. We are so glad to have you with us. I want to talk about a personal subject, and it is the folly of focusing on myself. I've got a story for you, a true story, a funny story, a revealing story, and incriminating story. It was 2012. Kelly and I had been to Nigeria a few times by then. I had preached many nights and days for Brother Shabanki there, and we loved it. We love the people of Nigeria. They've always treated us like kings. We love being with them. I cannot wait to see them again. And in Nigeria, the hotels often have a big diesel generator as backup power for the notoriously unreliable electrical grid there. The power will kick off, and a few moments later, you'll hear the generator kick on, and the blessed cool air conditioning begins to blow again. It's an absolute necessity. In 2012, we were staying in a hotel we'd never stayed in before. Very nice people. We enjoyed the people tremendously. But there were a few drawbacks that year in our accommodations. The hotel had a major water leak, and so they would turn the water off at the street until they needed to use it because they were waiting for a repair. It was on their side, and so they'd turn it off the street, turn it on. You could see it leaking in the ground. You could just see it start just soaking everything underneath the ground. Probably wasn't buried very deep. And then they'd turn it off when they were finished using it. So we were not getting very much water to shower and things like that. And also the generator, they wouldn't run it during the day. In fact, they said, oh, we don't need it during the day. We can see fine without the lights. But I needed the air conditioning in the afternoon to get cooled off. But they wouldn't run it. And just about the time we got ready to go to church, I'd hear the generator kick on. We'd be walking out the door. And when we come in from church at night, we were getting ready for bed, and they would turn it off, and it'd be off all night. And we were just cooking. There's no such thing as low humidity in Nigeria, at least where we've been. And the temperatures are always scorching. And so we were just dying. We weren't getting to shower and just soaked down all the time. We felt like we were dying anyway, I should say. I was preaching twice during the day and a third time at night. And we'd walk into the hotel like after 2 p.m. in the afternoon after preaching twice, soaking down twice. And I'd say, I need the water on so I can take a shower. Oh, yes, we saw you coming, so we've sent somebody to turn it on. It'll be on by the time you get to your room. But it's like a politician promising to lower taxes. It was never, ever on. And it was getting pretty frustrating. We went 2 days with no water to speak of, and 3 days one time, 2 days twice. And so I was pretty frustrated by this time. And then no air conditioning, I was miserable in a lot of ways. But, we were doing the best we could. It was about 3 a.m. one morning. I was studying. I had my iPad propped up before me, laying on the bed, and I had the bathroom sink water turned on, the faucet on. So if the water turned on, I would hear it. I'd jump up and take a shower. I heard the water. I jumped up, turned the water off, grabbed my things, got in the shower just in time for them to turn it back off. And I said pretty loudly, please, somebody turn the water back on. And so I got out, got my things back together, and climbed in the bed. I jumped out of bed so quick, my iPad was still on. It was laying out there against the headboard. And what I had been reading was mocking me. See, this is what I was studying. I was preaching the next day to a large group of preachers and other church workers from Matthew 16:24. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. And so that's what I was studying on when I jumped up to get in the shower at 3 in the morning, and then my plans were diverted because of no water. The principle of denying self. Here's some of the things I was going to say to those preachers the next morning. Let him deny himself. Let him lay himself aside, focusing on those he is serving. When a man denies himself, it is impossible for a man to promote himself. God will do the promotion. When God gets ready to use a man, God will do it. You will not need to promote yourself or your ministry. You will not need to beg for recognition or resources. The man that would follow Christ and help others follow Christ must first deny himself. I'm still reading to you from my notes. If a man is to be used of God, he cannot live for himself. He cannot be selfish. He must lay aside his own desires. He must live for the people he ministers to, not the other way around. So I was working through those notes. They were laying there. And when I came back and crawled up in the bed and I saw those scriptures mocking me, because men and women had traveled from all over Nigeria. Probably one or two of them brought their own car at the most. Most of them had walked, taken taxis, hitched a ride on the back of a truck or a motorcycle or some combination of all of the above to attend that meeting. They were sleeping on wooden slat pews or on concrete floors with no air conditioning, no fan, no shower, no running water, eating rice 3 times a day because they wanted to hear me preach. And the next morning, I was going to tell them that effective ministry required them to deny themselves. Now, I want you to see this picture. I live in America. I drive my own car. I flew to Africa in an air-conditioned plane. I was escorted and pampered by my brothers and sisters in Nigeria from the very moment I arrived. I was offered a bottle of water or something cold to drink several times a day, and very few of them, I didn't see any of them drinking something cold. They were offering it to me. They saved it for me. I was honored way above my measure by every person I met, including strangers on the street. And here I am grumbling because my safe hotel room with a good bed, good sheets, a good pillow, and covers that's very clean is tainted by intermittent water and unreliable air conditioning. Yet I'm preaching to them about denying themselves. Do you see? Do you see the contradiction there? Give me a break, Davy. This is what I was saying to myself. You are an A1 certified idiot some days. Some of you are going to remember the story. Odie was a little girl and she heard me call myself a stupid idiot. Davy, you are a stupid idiot. And Odie said, Daddy, you're not a stupid idiot. You're a good idiot. She didn't know that idiot was a put down. She just knew that stupid was a put down. You're a good idiot. Well, I may be a good, stupid idiot. Can we see ourselves in my folly? The folly of focusing on myself, preparing to preach to others about denying themselves, and I am focusing on myself. What a folly. What a fallacy. What a lie to believe, Davy, that you are more important than the people you are preaching to. I'm encouraging them to deny themselves, and they're living that life every moment. And I'm upset because I don't have the conveniences which I have become accustomed to and that I still like. What about your place in the ministry? You've given much. You've worked hard. You've volunteered to mow the church grass, clean the bathrooms, vacuum the carpet, work in the nursery, teach a Sunday school class, run children's church, drive the van, keep the books, build the website, print the bulletins, run the sound, or 1,000 other jobs in the church. Or maybe you sing in the choir or lead congregational songs or sing specials or play an instrument or even preach a sermon. Maybe you're a bivocational pastor. You work in evangelism or pastor a church and help in the school, all the while holding down a secular job to pay your bills and to help pay the church's bills. Or maybe you're in full-time ministry and you have given years of service to that full-time ministry, your best years, your strong years, and your talents and everything you have to the flock. You're shepherding the flock, winning the lost, pouring yourself into others. And I say, God bless you for your service. Now, a question: why do we serve in the first place? It's easy to forget our reason for service. It's not about us. It's about Christ and winning others to Him. When we focus on us, on our sacrifice, what we have given, we'll find ourselves wondering quietly or maybe aloud why our faithfulness is not rewarded. We've lost sight of our proper motivation. Are we afraid that no one will recognize us for our service? Are we shocked when no one applauds our sacrifice for ministry? Are we amazed when it seems that others are promoted ahead of us and rewarded more than us while we are passed by, even though we have labored through difficult seasons and long periods of demanding struggles? Where is the water, we say? Where is the electricity? Where is the air conditioning? Where is my reward? Davy, you deserve better than this. Oh, Lord have mercy. What's the answer to that? Where is my reward? The answer to that is not here. Where is my reward for ministry? Not on earth. No, our reward is not here. We're not laboring for water. We're not laboring for electricity. We're not laboring for air conditioning. We're not laboring for applause. We're not laboring for money or human recognition. We're not laboring for praise. We're not laboring for the approval of men. We're not laboring for a paycheck. We're not laboring for what we can receive here. If we are, we're laboring for the wrong reason. We're not promoting ourselves. We're not blowing our own horn. We're not commending our own commitment or applauding our own sacrifice. We are exalting Christ and denying ourselves. Anything less is not really ministry at all. It is self-serving, self-absorbed, self-important, self-centered, self-seeking phoniness. If we are working for the reward here. Matthew 16:24 slapped me upside the head that night in Nigeria as I'm crawling into bed, grumbling at all the things that I'm putting up with just to get to preach. And I see, let him deny himself. Let him take up his cross. Let him follow me. I laughed at myself that night. I laughed out loud. If Kelly was sleeping, I woke her up because I laughed out loud. And then I cried. Then I cried. And I still feel it today. The folly of focusing on myself. Now, I still love showers and air conditioning. I love a comfortable bed, but I have seen the folly of focusing on myself. And I proposed at that moment I was going to do better. And I have done better. And I still have a ways to go. But I know this much for sure. It is an honor to serve Christ and to serve in the ministry. I'm thankful to serve. Listen, God owes me nothing beyond the promises in his word, and God's people owe me nothing. It is a privilege to serve. Anything else that comes my way, it's a bonus. Paul said, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Oh, I'd love to give God everything. And even at that, it is reasonable service. The folly of focusing on myself. That's our word for Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
That is our word for Wednesday. We are so glad that you've spent a few minutes with us today. If you've been touched by today's episode, please share it with your friends and family. We welcome your questions or comments below or by email. You can find the email address in the description, along with a link to mile markers, the website for Boggs Family Ministries. Also, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you again, and we hope to see you next Wednesday.